Welcome. It is Tuesday, March 16th, 2021. My name is Jared, and welcome to the newly titled Engineering the Markets. Let's go ahead and get started. So we'll quickly breeze through some of our index products today. And when we're done with that, we'll take a look at some sectors. Given that it's Tuesday, I think it's an opportune time to see what occurred yesterday, what sectors are starting to maybe come alive or starting to pull back. And we have some notable areas of interest to cover. So when it comes to the SPY, I think overall, we just want to note that we did close at a new all-time high on the daily. So we are essentially breaking out both on the daily and also closing above our breakout point, which was a previous all-time high. Market participants are placing value in this area. We've seen a couple days of consolidation in the higher ranges, but as with any market, a pullback to the 20 or even the 50 is always a healthy sort of correction in a bullish uptrend. So we always want to be aware of what our drawdown distance looks like and what would be a normal pullback or correction if the market were to go against us in the opposite way. Looking at our 4-hour chart, we can see things like the 20, 50, and 200 simple moving averages are all below. They're all pointing up, and they're all in the appropriate order. So overall, the 4-hour is starting to evolve into that bullish trend structure where all moving averages sit below, and you can have price action sort of ride the 20 for a period of a couple of days. Pullbacks to the 50 tend to be healthy, and then we'll evaluate whether those pullbacks are being bought or if it is a more significant drawdown that we expect. As we look into the morning session, we can see that we are opening even higher than yesterday. So our pre-market is actually looking relatively strong. And if you note this 395.76 area, you can see that in pre-market, we've actually back tested that level. So if that's enough to hold us today, this could be a sufficient back test to carry the market even further higher. And our target at this point, given structures that we know about, is going to be this upward bullish trend channel that we've drawn. So this channel is still in play. We still want to keep it on our chart until otherwise we break through it and back test it. And at that point, we could remove the lower end of the channel. But for now, we have upward targets of most notably 400, and then I would say most aggressively somewhere in the 402.50s if we were to trend over the next couple days higher. Looking at our 30-day 1-hour and just pulling up where value is, we still see value sitting slightly below 390, so nothing really has changed from this perspective. That is mostly just for us to be aware that while we are trending, you will see that value is getting less and less as we trend. And this is a pretty common expectation when you trend away from value. You don't necessarily make a bunch of value shelves as you go. You simply get to a point where you no longer have enough market participants to carry the trend higher. And this is where you'll see pullbacks to areas of support like this tiny shelf here. Draw that again, just so it's easy to see, this shelf right here. Or if we see a more severe pullback, we know 390 is possible. And in our shortest time frame, which can provide some trade opportunities, if you're looking more counter trend, that pullback scenario is kind of what you're targeting. As we move away from value, the markets do like to come back and back test. But in this perspective, the target should not necessarily be VPOC, which is once again close to 390. There is a more a closer value shelf that would act as a support zone before getting to 390. And therefore, if we're looking intraday or just over the course of a couple days, you would be targeting this zone here. And this would be on a pullback scenario. So you'd probably target the middle of the zone, slightly below 395. So overall, the SPY is looking strong. The thing to carry forward is that during trends, there are pullbacks. Those pullbacks can be healthy and can simply backtest value zones. And as we are now back squarely in this bullish channel, we can have price action that simply goes from low to high, or we can have sort of choppy price action that eventually grinds us higher. Both scenarios are valid and both scenarios are bullish. It's just whether or not there's a strong, I would say a strong money flow into certain sectors that can lead us into a just overall higher high, higher low scenario. QQQ, notable underperformance as of late, but we are holding this breakout from a downtrend line. Volume did pick up on Monday's session, or sorry, Friday's session. And then Monday, it looks like we are trying to break above Friday's high. We still have the 20 and 50 above us. And if we're looking at lower time frames, we most notably have hit one of our short-term targets, which is 320. So the idea was that 320, we knew had a lot of value. We knew it was going to be an area of interest to the market. And our most aggressive target in this range is 325, which is the top end of the range. Ignoring some of these lines here, what we're seeing is that the 4-hour, 180-day 4-hour, the 20 and the 50 are below us. So it is trying to turn the trend around. We've had some notable follow through from the lows, but we still have this 200 sitting above us. And really what this means is that as we are gaining strength in this market, there is a period of time where these two moving averages and just the fact that we're in a range can cause a lot of consolidation. It mostly gives us the clue that this market may or may not be directionally based for a period of time. We may see some up days, we may see some down days. The market could easily kind of reclaim price levels that it had gained in the past couple of sessions. And that's just consolidation in a range. It's consolidation between some dynamic indicators, and ultimately it's a lack of directionality in a market that is significantly weaker than the SPY. On the 30-day, we'll just see where value is real quick. I won't speak to it too much. 315, so it does look like value is sitting slightly below. In this perspective, we'd be targeting the upper end of the range as we have moved away from value to the upside. And once again, I'm mostly just looking at these $5 levels, mostly because the market tends to respect them from the perspective of just psychological interest. And also 325, the most notable one. Previous price action has definitely given us a clue that 325 is important. And with the test of 325, it'll also be the first test of our daily uptrend line. So I would not expect this to simply break out on the first test. It is very, very probabilistically likely that we will pull away from this on the first test, unless there's some catalytic change in the market. And then 10-day, 30-minute, 311, that has been the case for multiple sessions. We're most notably moving away from value, so similar to the SPY, a move away from value will cause markets to trend. The market will attempt to find new value and then pull back to these shelves on healthy pullbacks. So we have a shelf around 318.50, and then once again, we're literally just targeting 325 in this perspective. This is our highest target that we can look to before we see some additional targets placed. So Okay. And then IWM, going back to our 2050-200. You know, for those who weren't present in other sessions, we're far removed from the daily trend. We're way up at all-time highs. Very, very strong market overall. We've seen multiple trend days with higher highs and higher lows. And most of these sessions have closed at or near the high of the day. So these are very strong intraday sessions along with just a strong daily. 180-day 4-hour, pulling back to our 20 in this perspective. So even though we did see a little bit of a slight pullback yesterday, it looks like we're literally just pulling back to sort of a trending moving average on the 180-day 4-hour. And most notably, we have not really back tested the previous all-time high. So in any sort of consolidation and things like the SPY, or if we have some notable sectors start to pull back, this could easily come down to 230 and gain us a little bit more support before heading higher. But we want to keep a bullish mindset in this indice just because of its outperformance and its overall structure relative to the ones that we're interested in. Let's see. Let's go to the 1 hour. Just over the past 30 days, value sitting at 225. I would think that this pullback would be pretty significant in this product, and I believe bulls would likely want to step up a little bit sooner than 225, but this is where the most value has been placed. A pullback here would bring us back below the recent all-time highs, and we may have to look to some sort of widening consolidation range if that were the case, some sort of like megaphone pattern that would be formed. But until then, I'm still just looking at 230 as maybe the most likely area to see more bulls step in from the recent resistance turn support. And I guess on the lowest time frame, 223 VPOC. Notice how we're building a lot of value up here, and even though we have these pockets, these are things that, you know, as a bull, you don't want to fall through these and try and buy anywhere in here. You want to wait for these shelves to be hit. So we're building value here. If we lose it, we could easily fall through to 227.50, and then we have another attempt at a support bounce. If not, we fall to VPOC. That's sort of the idea behind these. When you have these pockets, there's not a lot of support within them, and the idea is that the market's trying to build its own support structure, potentially trend higher, and then now it can use this as a bounce point. But if it cannot move higher from here, it has to go back to the lowest shelf, the lower shelf, to find support. So okay, so yeah, that's kind of where we sit on these indices. We know that the market is showing strength. We've seen a couple of standouts over the past week, and I'll keep reiterating these just for those who aren't in attendance. But we know certain sectors are performing very well at the moment, and we know certain sectors are not necessarily performing super well, albeit they are bullish in the short term. So what are those sectors? And I'm going to bring it back to the daily. I'm going to remove everything except for my moving averages. And we're just going to go down the list of the sector ETFs. I'll mention what sector they are. I'll mention why they're important, maybe a couple names within them if you're unfamiliar. And then we just want to see, you know, who's leading, who's lagging, who's the, I guess, who's standing out to us and where is the most opportunity. So XLK, very, very similar to the Qs. A lot of the NASDAQ is comprised of technology-based stocks. So XLK is going to be our technology ETF. This is the SPDR sector ETF for technology. So we have stocks like Apple, we have stocks like Microsoft, we have stocks like semiconductors, so NVIDIA, Some names may not be thought of as tech, but they are in this ETF, things like Visa and MasterCard. And you can see that here. Some of these holdings like Microsoft and Apple, about the same weighting. Visa and MasterCard, pretty similar, but closer to 4 to 3%. NVIDIA, PayPal, Intel, etc. So a lot of congestion here. And one thing that I want to note is that it's very difficult to find directionality when you're sitting at roughly 50% of your recent high to low. So right now, 139 is our high. We'll call it 125 is our low. So we have about a $15 range from high to low, and we're sitting at 132, which is $7 higher, or 133, $7 or $8 higher from the low. So we're literally at 50%, and therefore directionality is challenging because you can make a case in either direction. The thing that we keep noting, though, is that there's a lot of congestion. Moving averages are starting to cross. You can make a bull case with the downtrend line, but you can make a bear case with the moving averages crossing. So that's kind of where we stand with XLK. I would say that this is probably one of the least interesting sectors to me because it doesn't have clear directionality. Financials, very strong, very notable uptrend. Stocks in here are going to be things like Berkshire Hathaway, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citi, Morgan Stanley, and Goldman Sachs. Some of the notable call-outs for other index products are things like Goldman Sachs. If you're familiar with the Dow and how the Dow is calculated based on the price of the underlying, Goldman Sachs is a standout, not only because of its high price tag per share, but also because of its outperformance over the past couple of, let's call it 2 months, except for this pullback, maybe a month and a half. So we're seeing a lot of strength in the Dow, and that's because of a lot of different assets going significantly higher, but we have financials really carrying a lot of the burden on the SPY and causing us to be bullish over the past, month and a half. Short term, we are a bit extended from, I would say, any sort of general support. The daily could easily pull back a couple of percentages from here, and we'd still be in a very healthy daily uptrend. Some notable selling yesterday. I would say that we did have a little bit of a spinning top up here, and then a pull down on Monday session. So maybe financials keep this in our back pocket because we know this could easily pull back on us, and that could, cause consolidation in the SPY. This is also one of the sectors we want to be aware of during the FOMC meeting this week. If there is some significant decision made by the Fed in regard to rising interest rates, this sector may or may not be affected by that decision, depending on what it is. And that could be a bullish or bearish case, depending on what the Fed decides to do. If they're very dovish and they don't take much action, financials really love what's going on with interest rates, and we may see this go even higher. We also want to keep in mind that we are in all-time high territories. So with a lack of resistance above and the fact that, we are extended on the weekly, but with a lack of resistance above, this trend could continue much, much higher without much to stop it. XLY. This is going to be our consumer discretionaries. So stocks like Amazon, stocks like Tesla, which a lot of people do not think of as a discretionary stock, but it is. Home Depot, McDonald's, very interesting daily chart of McDonald's. If you haven't taken a look, I recommend. Nike, Starbucks, Lowe's, et cetera, Target. So for XLY, very similar to tech, we did have a major pullback, something that was very noteworthy noteworthy as we pull back to the 200. We are in the middle of this range, but we are showing relative strength over the past couple of days with two very strong daily candles, and also pulling much higher, closer to the 61.8 retracement from low to, the pullback. So, something of interest here. Once again, tech can lead this sector down. There is components in the QQQ that could be brought down by other tech weakness. But I think if you're going to target something that's more of a risk-on type of sector, this one to me looks a little bit better from a bull scenario as opposed to XLK. So, there's some potential here on a pullback, and we could see this trend start to reform itself to get back to highs. XLV, healthcare. Little bit of, I would say it's kind of range bound in this case, because we have two very significant ranges here. We have this one here, and then we obviously went lower, so we have our lows, and then we're just starting to breach above. If you believe that this range is well established and this is a breakthrough of the lower end of the range, your target would most notably be the upper end of the range. So there is some potential here as healthcare has started to, at the very least, show some interest. It's also clearing a lot of these topping tails, which were of concern whenever we saw the market have the weakness last week, have some weakness last week. So we are clearing some congestion. This could easily just sort of fade from here, but the range structure is relatively nice. If you like playing support to resistance, I think this could offer some potential, and obviously give it, at least a couple of weeks to get there if you were to play this structure. XLI, industrials, very, very strong. Look at our monthly all-time highs. So industrials, similar to financials, have been carrying this market forward and have been one of the more bullish areas to focus on. Actually, let me real quickly go back to healthcare just to cover what's in it. J&J, United Health, Abbott, Pfizer, AbbVie, Merck. Not a lot of great day trading candidates, but some people do like these higher price, like Amgen is a decent day trader. I know some people have traded UNH and J&J within the bear bull trader community, but otherwise we don't have a ton of great day traders, maybe CVS if there's a catalyst. And then XLI, these are going to be your industrials, notably Honeywell, which has been doing fairly well recently. Union Pacific, Boeing had a major, I would say like multi-week breakout. Caterpillar, UPS, and Raytheon. Also some interesting ones like John Deere, which have been one of the, I would say like outperformers over the past year or so, as industrials have consolidated. John Deere has been kind of an interesting one to watch. So let me go back to XLI. Industrials just holding up here. We have some clear pullback areas, all-time highs. So just one to watch. We kind of all know that there's some great traders in here like Boeing and Caterpillar. We want to see if this will continue. This would be one of those where if you're interested in buying pullbacks, the bullish trend is, I would say, well consolidated over this time range, where we had 90 acting as resistance and 85 as support. We consolidated over the course of multiple months. We had a breakout, pullback, and now we're breaking higher. So this is starting a bullish trend if you believe the strength in this sector. So it could actually be the start of something much bigger if if you look at this consolidation range that it had prior. Consumer staples, little bit of indecision here. We are seeing the bounce off the 200. The one thing that I just like to kind of note is if I pull this trend line down, the first candle test is technically up here. I'll pull it down a little bit further, multiple tests here, and we haven't really hit that resistance point. So the structure here is not great. You know, buying off the 200 would have been a nice entry point. At this time, though, the 50 is above the 20. So this could easily hit this resistance point, pull back, and allow for this trend to build, which means you can be patient in this sector. It's not really one that is showing a lot of strength at the moment. Procter & Gamble, Coke, Walmart, Pepsi, Altria, and Philip Morris are some of the big standout names. Costco is a name that a lot of people are familiar with. And then most notably Walgreens. I think Walgreens has been sort of an interesting candidate. And then, so those are going to be some of our risk on, and I'll say our neutral sectors. One that's really interesting me at the moment is utilities. In a market where we're showing all-time highs, I'm kind of scratching my head as to why utilities have had 4 to 6 trend days in a row from the lows. To me, from the daily structure, this thing is starting to break out. And for the life of me, I don't exactly know what the objective is here outside of maybe just some risk off being assigned in an underperforming sector. But there is money flow and volume going into this sector, as you can see here. So given that, I'm still remaining relatively cautious, especially with things like the FOMC meeting coming up. I think that could easily be a major inflection depending on what is said during that call. But additionally, I see stuff like this and I have to question, you know, why is this sector outperforming over the past 5 to 7 days? So something to watch. And if you like breakouts, if you like retracements, this is a pretty good one because we've consolidated over the course of months and we are just now breaching above what is considered the downtrend line. You know, if I draw it right there. So. Okay, and then other than that, we're also looking at energy, similar to financials, not at all-time highs, and at a notable point of resistance. We just draw it right around here. We did tag that. But we still have things like crude and natural gas really outperforming with very little in the way of pullback so far. So will this sector consolidate as it has had a significant run at this point, and we are a bit extended, or will it continue to be sort of our leader like financials? They're very similar, so the bullish and bearish cases for both are about the same. Okay, well, so that's where we sit. I do recommend, if you're not familiar with these sector analysis, to at least go through the ones we did not cover, specifically communications, which is another outperformer as of recent. And, you know, take this into your thesis as you go into the market. It can provide a little bit of context as to if the market is strong, do you want to be in a sector that has been weak, or do you want to be in one of the strongest sectors? And obviously, as long as it's performing that day, it can outperform any other sector, and all the candidates can give you good range. So that's the basic idea behind this. And then obviously we want to see, are there any warning signals? The only one that I can really think of is utilities. And, you know, ultimately it's just the past 5-7 days. It's not really a huge concern. It's just something to note. So All right, and that's it for me. I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Carlos and Norm at this point. So thanks everybody for joining Engineering the Markets. My name is Jared, and hope you all have a great Tuesday. Take it easy.
You cannot hear me. There we go.
I
Good
can hear you now.
morning. Yep. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. I hope everyone had an amazing morning. Is having an amazing morning, and I hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How are you today?
Hey, good morning, buddy. I'm doing well. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Yes. So glad you're doing well, guys. All right, let's get to it. So David from YouTube is saying he was crossing his fingers, hoping he was going to get a hot mic this morning. I'm not sure if you were around, but the best hot mic we ever had was when COVID first started. If you remember that,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh
it was
yeah.
a lot of fun. It's on YouTube. I forget the exact link, but man, that was a nice hot mic there for you guys. So definitely go back and enjoy that. With that said, guys, what an amazing day we had yesterday. I mean, it was just everything on our watch list was just beautiful. I mean, yesterday, just completely a nice, clean day all around. Let's start with AMC. AMC was just amazing. What was great about AMC, and many of us, myself included, took this trade here on AMC because it gave you so many clean opportunities and so many different strategies. Let's go through them here. We'll spend a little bit of time on this one just because how clean it was. So you had here the breakout of the pre-market, right? Right off the bat, that was a nice area to get in on. You get a beautiful pullback. You have a bull flag here. You have an ABCD pattern. So much going on in this 5 minute. And if you look at the 1 minute, you're going to see more breakouts as well. You also have the high of the day here, right? So a lot of us took this for the high of the day breakout continuation. That also traded nicely up to the next level we have, which was this 1306. From there, you see how clearly we blow through that, come back down to the moving averages, another test of the VWAP and the moving averages. And again, another beautiful A, B, C, D pattern. Great breakouts. Just so many clean opportunities on AMC. You also had a 5 minute open range breakup on this. And let's talk about that a little bit. Andrew mentioned this the other day. The 5 minute breakout, guys, does not have to be at minute 5, at minute 6, right? It can happen later down the line. So, for example, if you look at this 5 minute candle here, this creates the 5 minute range. So you have your line right here. I'm going to draw a line here. This is going to be your 1267, right? That is the top of your range. And some people, they want to use the body. Others want to use the low of the candle, which is fine. You can use whichever one. Just got to be consistent. I prefer to use the body. I think the body is shows a little bit more strength sometimes. So 1218, right? So that is your range, 1267 to 1218. The breakout happens 15 minutes in, right? 940, 10 minutes in. the 940, 941 here, you see the breakout of the 5-minute opening range, right? So this is your opening range, and that's the breakout there. So if you traded that as a 5-minute opening range breakout, you also had a beautiful pop there as well. So again, so just very clean there, as you can see there, guys. AMC. Let's look at American Airlines. American Airlines also very nice, beautiful open range breakup on the 5-minute. Beautiful continuation as well, breaking out of early on, breaking out of the pre-market high. The first time we had a pre-market high here, and it broke out of that nicely, and then we had a small pre-market high right before the open here at 24.69. That also broke out nicely, heading higher here, really clean. CCL is another one as well, got pretty extended, did a new high of the pre-market right on here, 29.16. Beautiful break on continuation. Look at this pullback here for another pop as well. So again, I got in here a little bit late. The entry should have been up here, but we still got a great continuation there on CCL also. NEO was probably a little bit rough out of all the ones that that we were watching out of the gates. NEO was probably the one that didn't trade as clean, but it did get really good later down the line as well, as you can see this breakout here. Here's BA, also traded very nice, guys. Beautiful drop here on BA. And we also have X. Now, X could be a little bit choppy. This one traded well towards the bottom, following this 9 moving average, but the volume was very light though. So that kind of I stayed away from it because of that. I want to see a little more volume on it. But again, if you are a slower pace trader, which is okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Meaning, and by slower pace, I mean you'll take an entry, your stop's a little bit wider, you want to get the bigger moves, you're willing to wait it out. You know, this would have been amazing drop here on X yesterday. So again, just so many clean trades yesterday. Hopefully you took advantage. When the market trades this well and you have so many stocks that are trading clean, there's definitely some great opportunities for us to take advantage of. So let's head on down over to a recap of the market. Norm, what do we have? What's the latest and greatest?
Yeah, I apologize. I have not updated the calendar that's on the screen. That's from yesterday, where there's actually a ton of economic data today. 8:30, right at when we started, we had retail sales, core retail sales, import price index. Big one there was the retail sales, and it was down 2.7% on the core, I believe, which is without cars, without autos, which was substantially worse than expected. We did see the market start to pull back right there. We'll see if that takes hold. Of course, you know, the big thing, as Jared had mentioned this week and we talked about yesterday, is the FOMC policy announcement tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. and then the JPOW press conference at 2:30. So we'll see how that goes. We do have more info coming out today, 9:15. You've got industrial production and capacity utilization. Home builders index 10 a.m. and business inventories then as well. So good chunk of data coming out this morning. That retail sales number is probably the biggest one on the biggest one for the day, and you know, it's caused a little bit of a pullback from this uptrend we've had this morning. So we'll see if it holds.
All right, excellent. All right, guys, let's get to our gappers list this morning. As we can see here, we do have a bid on both sides. Starting with our gap up list, a couple of low flows leading the way. ANVS this morning, they are up 29%. Let's take a look at the pre-market action. That does not look good at all. Very light on the volume, so we'll skip on this one. This is very dangerous, guys. Usually it's going to have a very wide spread. Just be very careful. You can see here some of these candles of $49 all the way down to 42. That's an $8 candle there with only 16,000 shares traded. Scary stuff, man. Anybody could drop an order for 16,000 shares and put you in a very bad position. It doesn't matter if you have a hard stop, it'll blow right through because that order will be filled entirely. You know, so you don't want to be involved in something like that. ANCN, this one on here, a little bit better pre-market action. 1 million shares traded, 26% up this morning.
It's got like a 15 cent spread usually on a $5 stock. It just closed back up and tightened, but that's pretty nasty. So watch out for that.
Yeah,
it is good. You know, these 1 minute candles, you're getting a whopping 2,000-3,000 shares going through it at a time. Yeah, guys, not looking good there neither. In the daily, usually the daily doesn't look great for these slow flow stocks, but the pre-market action has to look good. And you cannot have this 15-cent spread as we're seeing here. So let's skip on that one. KMPH, we've seen this one quite a bit in the past. I have not liked the way it's been trading, even when it's been active. I don't know if you guys have been able to take any advantage of it, but I'm going to keep it off my list. Again, the last couple of days, we've seen regular stocks, mid to large flow stocks trading so well. I want to keep my focus there. Wow, here's XNet.
If you remember, no,
Blast
I know
from
you
the past.
remember this. A
Yep.
blast from the past, man. This stock was like an
This was the
AMD.
original full runner, right?
Yes, yes.
We
This
used to have a
thing.
moderator
Oh,
that his avatar was actually an old man running,
hmm
former runner, and
hmm
his name, and it said XNet.
Yep, yep. I remember 100%. This thing used to be in play quite a bit. It was like our AMD back in the days. Today they're up 12.8, 430,000 shares traded. Pre-market looks okay, just for the sake of good old times. We'll add this one on here, but doesn't look that great today. We'll see if that changes. FU2U or FUTU, whichever way
FU
you
to
want to
you.
say it.
How about
uh,
FUTU, not FU to
yes.
me?
Yes. This one here, guys, it is up 9.2 this morning. Good pre-market action. Again, very active. I like the volume on this today. Looks very clean. I love the daily as well for a possible breakout. I'm going to add it as a possible, guys. But again, I probably won't trade it just because risk management purposes. Again, it can move quite a bit, but it does look good. The spread is not bad. We're looking at what, 10 cents for a $161 stock. And you know how this thing moves, right? It moves obviously a ton. So you got to be very mindful of your number of shares. You want to make your money here on the move, not the number of shares you take. So very, very careful there. But the day looks interesting, guys. Possible breakout out of 170 if we can get going here. Beautiful consolidation. The day looks a lot better since the first of this month. You can see here the candles are a lot wider. You're not getting just all these wicks here as you're getting in the previous week. So that looks clean. I like the way that looks. Pre-market action looking good as well. But again, got to be very, very, very careful. All right, let's head on down here. BEKE. BEKE, what do we have going on? For the most part, no, does not look good. Not a great pre-market action. It is up 5.3, but again, you can tell here this is not good at the moment. Billy, this morning they are up 5.1. Not a great pre-market action. They can trade very well and very clean, though. We've seen them in the past do some pretty good things. Maybe a possible for now. I do like the daily. They're breaking out of this what is this, 113.17. Beautiful breakout today off of that. I wish that would have happened at the market open, but again, a nice little pop this morning on Billy. We'll see if that gets any continuation type play there off a great level that they have on the day. This is a great level. Look at the support, more support happening here, and then it became resistance when we broke below that, and we're cracking out of that today. So it's pretty nice what's happening there. I'm going to stop here in the gapping up list. I'm going to scroll down and see if we have anything decent here. PDD, no. CCIV, I just saw CCIV. Where'd it go? Oh, it popped up a little more. Here it is. CCIV has got some volume, 951. Their daily looks interesting. Their pre-market a little bit choppy, but we've seen them trade well. Gonna add it as possible. mRNA, we haven't seen this one in a while. Look at this beautiful pop on mRNA here. mRNA, excuse me.
Yeah, they have news this morning. They're now doing trials for the COVID vaccine on kids as young as 6 months, I believe it was. So
okay, nice. Okay, this is good stuff. So that's obviously good news for them. They're getting ahead of that, and they're popping up at 5% this morning with 205. Looks like volumes are starting to come in nicely here. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Spread not bad for stock of 150. We're looking at what, 14 cents in the pre-market. That could get better. We'll take a look at that one. All right, and we'll stop here. Oh, DKNG. Let's see what's happening there. DKNG, what do we have? No, I don't see anything great at the moment on it, so I'm going to skip on it. All right, let's see what's gapping down. We have 4 low flow stocks leading the way. So again, they got to look very good for us to keep them on here. OCG, pre-market looks horrible. Volume is not there. It's down 24%. You do have shares for sure. Be very, very careful with that. Again, I don't like what I'm seeing here for this low flow stock sitting at 10 million shares flow. It's just the volume, right? You need to have really, really good volume. The spread right now about 10 cents there. So not great. All right, here we have a CLSK, also another low flow stock, down 23% this morning, 1.8. Better volume, not a great pre-market action just yet. Interesting daily though. We're hitting some of these areas of support that it has here, and the float on this is 21, so it's a little bit higher float. I think we can add this one to our list. Let's see what happens here. As I do like the drop here. I do like, as choppy as the daily is, I like this level we're trying to hold here in the pre-market. That could be very interesting, especially with a drop of 23%, 1.8 million. Next low flow stocks, TKAT. What do we have here? This one, pre-market action is not great. The volume is too light for us to look at this one. Only 100 and change traded so far. SGLB. This one, 32,000 shares traded. Pre-market action does not look great on this one. I'm not a fan of this one. I don't know. I'm just gonna skip on it too. Zine,
Not seeing a
ZYNE.
lot I like this morning, man. I'm going to tell you right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. It's not great.
When FU to you is the best you got.
Yeah, it's not great, and especially after such a. And you know what? If we don't get to trade today, man, it's not a problem. We had such a great day yesterday, and that's what you have to do. You're gonna have these days where you can take advantage and catch some great opportunities, and you're gonna have these other days like this one. Right now, it's not starting too well. Not starting great at all. When GameStop is probably the best thing we have on deck right now. Look at this. GameStop down 11.1, 1.3
Oh,
million.
don't
Um,
encourage diamond hands.
let's add this to our secondary list, but I won't trade it. But I'll add it here just to watch something in case there's nothing else that we can pull off on this list this morning. Fuel cell. Now this is looking good, guys. Down 10%, 2.2 million shares traded right now. Any news on? It's a big drop for them. They usually don't move
Which
that
one?
much. Fuel cell.
FCell, yeah, they had
Yeah.
their earnings this morning with a wider
Okay.
miss than anticipated.
All right, there we go. Now we got something cooking here. CAN Bitcoin play here down 5.2, 500,000 shares traded. Pre-market looks okay. I do like the daily though. If we could lose this support, we're gonna add this one on here. I do like that there. Great area of support coming up at 31.21. We could get a nice bounce from there or a nice drop. See how things goes. All right, I'm gonna stop here. Let's take a look at some of the players we had yesterday. AMC was amazing yesterday. Maybe a possible. Already has great volume, guys. 6.7. Actually, I'm going to add as a main one this morning. That's good. We do have shares for sure. NKLA, another one that's doesn't trade very well. We'll skip on that one. Plug, Snow, Ride, and F. F looks very active this morning. 1.6. They have something going on. They're down 2% this morning. Again, they don't move a whole lot, but they got some volume this morning as well. All right.
F had big moves yesterday.
Yeah.
That I saw some people traded it. I didn't touch it, but I know that they had some stuff going on yesterday.
We'll put as a possible just because they got good volume. I do like this pre-market right now, the way they're dropping. Again, it's just so difficult to trade because it barely moves. All right, let's stop here, guys. All right, so people cannot see the watch list. What's going on with the watch list? What are we missing?
What do you mean you can't see the watch list?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right here. There you go. That's what you're saying there? Okay, perfect. Let me do this because it will reset later. So before I forget, I'm going to go ahead to my Dash Trader Pro and save that. 1 second, guys. Save desktop. Here we go. And we'll do this quickly. There it is. All right, saved. Perfect. All right, so not that you were missing a whole lot of great stuff up there anyways. Not looking so great today. Okay, guys, let's start with our channel. Let's start with Ugo. You're giving us, oh no, you're just saying thank you as well for being here.
This is one of those mornings maybe to go back to bed.
I agree. It is not looking exciting at all. All right, let's start with Robbie. Let's start here with CA.
Hey, guys, if you spam the chat, you're gonna get
it's not gonna work.
muted.
That won't work today or any day. CANF. What do we have here? So this is up 90%. Now, these are American exchange stocks. I don't know about you, but I don't like trading them. They trade different. Their price action is a little bit weird at times. They get insane volume too. Like these lower price stocks on the American exchange, when they get going, they'll get like 40 million shares as you're seeing here. But they're slightly not difficult, but different. They're definitely different to trade. It's a whole different price action. This one is definitely in play. Let's look at what is the flow for this bad boy this morning. 66 million, so it's not a low flow stock. I'll add it here as a possible, so take a second look at it. But again, it's just something with these stocks that I don't like the way the price action is. Let's take a look at Apple this morning. Yeah, the Apple is good, guys. I like what I'm seeing here. Hopefully, if it keeps going like this, we can get an opportunity. Apple up 1.3, 1.2 million shares traded. I love the daily. My mom, who is now opened up a Robinhood account, actually has Apple from 119, so she's doing better than I am. So that's good. CCL, let's take a look here.
You didn't tell her to diamond hands a game?
No, no, I did not. So here we have CCL. All her friends have it, so now she's into it too. CCL, guys, I don't see much going on with CCL. Pretty flat at the moment. Volume is coming in, though, 715. Again, it's going to depend a lot on what the SPY does today. Are we going to have a run up? I know CCL was great yesterday. American Airlines was nice as well. Big gap up. How about United, guys? You guys take a look at United yesterday. This thing gapped up huge from 56, opening up at around 58, and a beautiful day yesterday as well. So a couple of trades there in our chat room and also on Twitter, guys. So again, very, very nice. But right now, I think they're pretty quiet at the moment. I think they're maybe one of them, maybe American Airlines could be a good possible, but we know these tickers. You know, if something pops up and starts to get going, if the market starts trending, we can come back to them and see what's going on there. So I'm not going to add them right now to our list. FTCV, what is this? This is up 16.2. 4.3 million shares traded right now. Let's take a look at the float on this one. FTCV. What do we have here? FTCV, 223 million. So it's a large flow stock, just a little bit of a lower type price here. I'm not sure, guys. I mean, the daily is definitely wacky. Recent IPO here as well.
That's a SPAC.
It is? Okay.
That, God, I can't remember which one it was, but they came out with who they're
merging with.
Yeah, so that was this morning. I saw it earlier, but I couldn't remember.
Okay.
eToro, that's right. Thank you.
Oh, eToro, nice. Okay, that could be interesting, right? I mean,
yeah, I think it could be.
That if eToro is very big, it's very well known, this can get some stuff going. We'll add this one, FTCV. Let's see what happens there on that one this morning. All right, so let's make a little room here. All right, heading on down, guys. BA, let's take a look there. BA this morning, not doing a whole lot today. Pretty quiet for the most part. Had a couple of great days here, guys. A little bit, giving a little bit back yesterday, a little bit of a pullback, which is fine after such a great run. More of a indecision going on right now. Pretty flat at the moment. Again, we can wait for this one to hit our scanners, but I do agree. You trade so well. That does have some potential. CANF already. All right. What do we have here? Just head on down. AMD. Let's take a look at AMD this morning. What do we have on AMD? AMD, yeah, I think everything's looking pretty much the same, right? Pretty flat right now. Again, a couple of green days for a lot of these stocks, especially in the tech sector. We'll have to wait and see. Again, I don't see anything explosive out of AMD that makes it in play today. And we'll know someone will be watching that one and let us know if anything's happening there. Mara, another Bitcoin play here. I do have CAN here. I think that one looks a little bit better this morning. I like the pre-market action, bigger drop. I love the daily on CAN as well. So I like what's happening there. We'll keep an eye on that one. Let's head on down. Apple, we looked at XPEV. We'll look at XPEV and NEO. Our two buddies here. XPEV at the moment, it's again pretty much flat. They're up 1.4. Okay, volume. NEO also has they're not in play really at the moment. I think it's kind of waiting around to see what's going to happen next. They're pretty much consolidating. NEO, you can see here, just moving sideways, and the volume is very light. We're used to seeing NEO at 850. We're not seeing that this morning. Yeah, UAL was gorgeous. I fully agree. FCell we have on here, so that's good. You're short from 1530. Nice. Let's head on down. EBON. What do we have here? EBON down 5.2 this morning. 1 million shares traded. This is a little bit tricky. I know we've seen it in the past before. I don't keep it on my list. I don't like the way it trades in the intraday. Yesterday's a good example of this. Look how this thing is trading. So just be careful if you're going to be watching this one. I don't like the daily on it. I don't like the pre-market action for the most part. So I'm going to skip on that one for now. All right, let's take a look over on our YouTube chat. What do we have this morning? We'll start with, what do we have here? Kevin, let's start with you. You're giving us UGRO. No, that's not going to work because, again, it's just no volume, and that's just not, that's what our day looks like this morning.
What was, yeah.
Yeah, that's how our day looks like this morning. And the next one here, AI, this is also not good. Again, just for intraday trades, you don't want to be touching this here. Be very careful with those. CDGE, no volume here, only 20,000 shares traded. We'll skip on that one. GE, let's take a look. GE was good yesterday. A lot was good yesterday, right? So you could have watched, I mean, just tons of stocks were trading so well yesterday. GE, beautiful pop here. What's that, 30 cents? 30 cents. You could have had probably a dollar move on any other stock if it was not GE. Doesn't move much, but yeah, traded very well yesterday. But today, not much going on that one. Stitch Switch, let's see, SFX here. Yesterday, again, beautiful day yesterday, like many stocks had. Let's roll up to our pre-market. Just no volume here.
Stitch
Pre-market
fix
is-
trades
Yeah.
difficult. It's difficult to trade when it's a really in play day. I know it's had a nice run, excellent swing trade idea. I don't know if today's the day since it's got no volume really this morning. They're really spotty.
Yeah. It needs volume for sure. SNDL. No. Well, you got some volume, 7.1, 25 million shares traded, but this is more of a penny stock. Again, just the way we trade, I would not like to be involved in this here for the most part. So, is it a low flow stock? What's the float on this? SNDL. It's actually even worse. It's a 1.9 billion. So you're gonna have a hard time getting a clean price action out of this one. Such a large stock float like that, and it's at a lower price. So just be mindful of that. It's not gonna drop on you. This won't drop on you. 50, 30 cents in a matter of a minute. I mean, it can, but most likely that will not happen. But again, you're just gonna get a very a strange price action or something like that. AMD's okay. I mean, it's not much going on there. MU actually looks a little more interesting because you're breaking out of this 989 area of resistance. You're up 1.6, but just the volume is just not there at all for MU. So a lot of stuff that's just looking pretty flat at the moment. PDD, I think we looked at earlier. Again, you got a nice pop here, breakout of 160. That could be okay. We had another one that looked like that, Billy. So I like Billy a little better than PDD. PDD sometimes doesn't trade very clean. I see a couple of you guys throwing Starbucks out. Starbucks has a nice pop here, 1.6, just no volume whatsoever, only 45.
It's pretty typical. Starbucks really doesn't trade very well pre-market. They got an upgrade this morning.
Oh, nice.
So it could be.
Might be something. Yeah, we'll throw it on there. Why not?
It doesn't surprise me. It's not disqualifying the pre-market volume because that's pretty common for it.
Gotcha. Right. Thank you for that.
But if it was me, I would have to confirm during the trading day that it was actually trading decent volume and the RVol kicked in at the open. So
gotcha. All right, so we'll throw that on there, see if that gets going, if their engines start up here. KMPH, we looked at that one. Did not like what I saw there. VUZI, what do we have here? This one, 6.3. What stock is this? VUZI. What do we have? 1.3 billion, 1.1 billion shares flow here. So very large flow stock. I don't know.
No. The float's 49.72.
Oh, sorry.
You're looking
49.
At the market cap.
Sorry, 49. Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one, guys. Again, it can do something. Pre-market is okay. Daily's all right as well. Not a whole lot of volume for the most part. Only at 12.10 for any given day here. Even on days where it moved quite a bit here, going from 15 to 20. So I don't know. We'll take a second look at it. Who knows? Today is going to be one of those days where we'll have to definitely dig for stuff here. JWM, I see a couple of you guys throwing that one out there. The issue with JWN is that it is very difficult to trade. It doesn't trade very well for the most part. I had a nice couple of days here. A lot of stuff were great yesterday, but look at this yesterday here. Doesn't have volume today, guys. 14,000 at best. That could change. Sometimes these retail companies, I think this is Nordstrom, these retail companies can bring in volume later, but they're really not the best to trade. So
Nordstrom's tough to trade.
Yeah, it is. All right, I think we have to stop here. Let's go over to announcements, and we'll see what we can get out of this list.
Oh, I apologize. I forgot. I have not fixed these funky announcements, so I'll get you a new one tomorrow. I apologize completely. I'm not used to doing it on a Tuesday. All right, so tonight, 8 p.m., we've got Artie, investment growth analyst, Peak Capital. I used to be the risk manager for Peak, and he's kind of doing that instead now. Anyway, he's going to be talking about the ABCs of risk control, the most important part of trading.
Yeah, and actually, Norm, I do have what's happening next week. That's going to be, we're having Luke from Benzinga. Now, he's the director of operations there at Benzinga, which is the company we use for our news. And he's going to be talking about, how to trade the news, what to look for, what's good, what's bad, what's important, what you should disregard. So really looking forward to that. I don't think we ever had a webinar talking about how to trade the news from somebody that actually lives and breathes this stuff every single day at his company. So looking forward to that. That's going to be the following week. Well, next week.
Okay, great. All right. Then tomorrow night, 8 p.m., you're going to have Nada, our mindfulness coach, talking about how success doesn't define you, and, kind of learning to let go of your attachment to that to help improve yourself. Then next week, we'll have Town Hall with Dr. Katz, a couple of traders, nice format. People love it. All right, guys, if you before I go any further with this, I do want to mention, so Thor's going to be on vacation, and Thor usually does the Thursday evening mentorship. Special surprise for this week, since no Thor will be around. Andrew and Brian are going to be doing a live kind of, I say ask me anything. It's kind of, mentorship, asking. This is something we used to do in the past. It used to be Brian and Andrew. Sometimes I was in it with Andrew. Other people have done it. So that'll be this Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Member trade of the day, trade of the week. If you want to take part in that, take a screenshot of your best trades with its entry, your best trade with its entries and exits. Mark it up, any commentary you can give on the strategy, and then post it on Twitter, tag at Bearable Traders, at Mike_BBT, and at NormBBT. Also use hashtags BBT Family, Day Trading, and Stock Market. We'll announce the winner each day in the Closing Bell Show, and on Twitter, and then the trade of the week's voted on over the weekend, and we will get that announced Monday in the Closing Bell Show and on Twitter as well. Twitter, yes, I'm a mess this morning. If you want to give BBT a shot, you're watching us on YouTube and you haven't been in the room, use the promo code PREMARKET24. It'll get you a discount off the intro membership, which is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the room, doesn't auto-renew or turn into any other kind of membership, just cancels after that period, and you can decide if you'd like to become a member. Also gives you access to Carlos's onboarding class each and every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, and then immediately following that is also Kyle's technology class. If you're looking to either become a member or upgrade your membership to Elite, you can still use the promo code LUCK40 for an annual Elite membership.
Thank you, Norm, for that. All right, guys, let's get to it. Fuel Cell here, F Cell, is taking a bloodbath. It just continues to drop. It is down 15% now, 3.4. So that definitely staying on our list.
Yeah, another one that's good in there too. That's sympathy on that. I think is Plug.
It's got Plug. Yep. Yeah, let's add that one too. That looks very active as well. We'll throw Plug on here, down 4%, getting some volume here, also dropping nicely. So that's good. All right, guys, excellent. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's good enough, and tons of possibles here that are not looking all that great. Let's run through these VUZ, so Starbucks. I'd rather keep Starbucks. I want to hop in since we were just talking about F Cell and our member here, Rubber Toe, which I don't know what it's referencing, but I laugh every time I see Rubber Toe. That just sounds hysterical, just hilarious to me. They have, I think, their conference call at 10 a.m. So they're not usually when the market is open. That one is, so it could be a little crazy during that time. If you keep that on your list and you're looking at it, keep it in your keep that in mind. Yeah, because you can get some wild swings depending on what is said, what computers pick up, and so forth. So definitely active. Let's take a look at our possibles list here. Let's remove some of this stuff here. We're going to have a tight list today because it's not a lot that looks great right now. That can obviously change. VUC, I'm going to remove this one. I just don't like the pre-market action. The daily's a little funky for me as well. Recent IPO too, right? This one? Oh, no, it's not. But just looks like a SPAC though. Looks like it, breaking out here in December. But we'll get rid of it. Let's get rid of that one. Starbucks I'm going to keep because it can be very explosive. Not the easiest stock to trade, but I do like this pop today into all-time highs. Are we at all-time highs here with this company? Looks like we might be. We covered the hump from last year in March, so that's good. All right, yeah, we might be at all-time highs with that, so that's good. Let's keep that there. FTCV, this one is interesting, so we'll keep an eye on that one. It's got great volume. CANF. Now this one here, you got a good pre-market action, just not my typical stock that I like to trade. So I'm going to remove it, guys. I think the price action on these American exchange stocks, trading at 40 million shares traded already, up 95%. I think it's just for me, the way I trade, it might be a little bit difficult to catch a good opportunity. Ford is dropping nice. I'm going to keep Ford down 2% this morning after a couple of big days here. We'll see what comes out of that. CLSK, this one is down huge, 23%. I do like this drop here. I like that we're hanging out here around this great area of support. So we'll keep that here as a possible. It's 22.10, right? Good area of support. A couple of bounces there. We lost this other great area of support here, 24.41. So we'll keep this on here. This could be a good one if it continues to drop like this. It's extended already towards the downside, 23%, 24%. So we might get a little bit of a pullback here that can give us a good entry for a short if that is in your trade book. So be careful with that. XNet, we have it on here, but you know what? It doesn't really look good. That's a blast from the past. Let's get rid of it. FUTU, this one is looking good. Pre-market looks good. We're going to keep it on there. Billy is decent. I do like the daily on Billy here. Hopefully can get more volume and get going. CCVI. No, did I type this wrong again? Yeah, I did. CCIV. Is that what it is? Yeah, here we go. So CCIV this morning, now starting to get some good volume here. Look at the daily as well. That looks good. And then we have GameStop. I'm going to remove GameStop. That's just joking around there. All right, so I think that's a decent possibles list. Let's look at our main list. Apple, mRNA, nice pop today. Fuel cell just continues to drop. CAN is the Bitcoin play. I like this one on the daily for a possible drop if we can get going or a bounce. AMC getting a little bit of a bounce now. That's very active. Great volume, guys. 8 million. Had a great day yesterday. Trade is so clean. Hopefully we can get some of that action today. And then Plug also here moving on a sympathy play as well. Down nicely 4%. So we got a very nice list. All right, let's start with Apple here. High of the pre-market at the moment, sitting right at a good daily level or slightly below it, right here at a 125.74. Good area of resistance and support right on this. So I'm going to definitely put a level there. Pre-market high is going to be a little bit higher. I'm not going to mark the pre-market high just yet. We'll see how that ends up. Slightly above that, we have another level, 127.42, and then all the way up here at 128.76. Towards the bottom, guys, highs and lows from the last two trading days and the previous day close. Got you covered there on Apple again, looking very good this morning. mRNA, nice pop today, 3.6. We got a little bit of volume here, not a little bit, a lot of volume. That's not 276. I thought it was 2.7. No, so okay volume, 276. High of the pre-market at the moment. We'll move this up a little bit. This is sitting at a 150.87, and then slightly above that, what do we have? Another level right on here, guys. Good level here, actually. Great area of resistance, support as well at 157.77. So a couple of levels there. You can mark this is a big pop, right? From 150 to 157. That is a huge move. Now this stock can move quite a bit. I'm gonna have a midpoint level here at 157.25. You got a couple of days opening and closing right around that price target, just in case. Again, it's not a major level like this 157.77, but at least we have something in that we can actually go for if this thing does decide to trade higher. Fuel cell continues to drop. New low of the pre-market, 14.33. Let's put a level there on the daily. Clear level here at 12.51 and all the way down here at 11.12. So hopefully this thing waits for us at the market open to take some opportunities on there. Towards the bottom, plenty of great levels being supported. Even if you go back into December, you can see how great these levels are acting here on the daily. Resistance for support here a couple of days ago. So great levels down there. Towards the top, guys, above the price action, you have your highs and lows from the last two trading days on this beautiful consolidation we had here, going from 17 to 19. Now we lost that today. So anybody that was holding here, and Thor will talk about this quite a bit probably later today. Anybody that was holding here, if they get stopped out, it's going to create this drop in this going here. So he'll talk about that today in his presentation, and his time on the mic. On the daily, we do have 1550. Great area of support right on this. I'm going to mark that down as well. You can see in the pre-market, we're getting a little bit of an action around that price as well. So you want to have that on there also. Here is CAN. Again, the daily, guys, on this one looks very good. This is a Bitcoin play here, down 5.7. Towards the bottom, we do have a great level here, guys, 28.82. Below that, maybe right here, 26.83. I would have loved for this to be closer to this one down here at 25.35. Look at the great area of resistance you're getting there, but we cannot deny this level here, 26.43. You got to have that on your list. Great bounce off this day here on that 26.43 level. Towards the top, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days got you pretty much covered there. Do not need to add any more. Pre-market looks okay on this one. Good volume. I would love to see a drop in here if we're going to get one. AMC, very active. A great day yesterday, as we mentioned before. Low of the pre-market right at 13. Getting a nice little bounce here. Double bottom of the 5-minute. Looks like it might want to go to at least towards the, well, hit the VWAP already, maybe up towards the previous day close. Highs and lows surrounded at the moment around the price target. If we are on the price action, if we look at towards the top, we do have, again, this is the madness here we talked about yesterday as well, right? It is not very, very clean, but we can put some levels here. 1592 up here, we have 1723, just to have an idea, but these are not great levels that you're getting here. Look how great this thing is trading towards the bottom down here, creating some good areas of support and resistance. This is just the madness we have. It's not going to create amazing levels with this just nasty daily chart there. So, but for the most part, we do have some great support down here. We do have some previous day close. We have our recent highs from yesterday as well. So that can play very nice this morning. All right, here's plug also dropping a bit. We are down 4.1, sitting right at the low from 2 days ago. Below that, we do have a level right on there, 43.50, great area of support. A couple of days bouncing off of that nicely. Towards the bottom, we have another level right on here at 41. Not as great as this one, right? This one has some pretty good touches on there. This one, you have this day here, and you got some resistance here as well, but not a major level there at 41.56. Towards the top, guys, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Their pre-market action looks very good this morning on the plug with some decent volume. All right, so again, not a blockbuster list as we had yesterday. Look at Apple taking off here. Very nice ABCD pattern, break out of the pre-market high. So yeah, not a blockbuster list like we had yesterday, but not so bad. It's getting a little bit better. Hopefully that continues to into the market open. All right, let's bring in our watch list from our moderators. So we bring this right over here. Make sure you guys can see this. There, I think that's perfect right there. All right, so we have Thor. He's watching CCL, NCLH. So he's watching some of the cruise lines, and American Airlines for a second day play there. Again, beautiful trading day yesterday. That one, and also United. United was actually, I think, cleaner than American Airlines. How great it traded. EVs, NEO, XPEV, Apple, and Microsoft all looking very good this morning. At least Apple is very nice there. John is looking at FUTU, mRNA. For a high of day breakout. Dima, she is looking at CCIV, XPEF, TRY, and MU. Mike is looking at Facebook, BA, and SQ. See, he likes the daily charts on those 2 there. On those 3. Tiffany, she's watching Apple, TLRY, mRNA, Fuel Cell, and American Airlines. And no IPOs for today. A couple of SPACs coming out. And then Brian is looking at CCIV, Plug, Fuel Cell, and American Airlines have calls. You have calls meaning options, or they have a call set up. I know Fuel Cell has a call at 10 a.m. so be careful with that one. But yeah, pretty decent list so far. Recap, guys. So we have American Airlines looking good. mRNA looking okay. Fuel Cell continues to drop here, getting a little bit of a pullback. Let's see if we're going to go back down and test that 1433. CAN is okay, not great. I like the daily more than anything. AMC very active, 8.5. That one is good. And plug continues to drop here as well. That's also looking good in the pre-market. All right, that is what we have, guys. Thank you so much for joining the pre-market show over on YouTube. We appreciate you guys being with us every morning. Tonight, we have a success webinar by Artie at 8 p.m. Eastern time, so do not miss that. We're going to be talking about risk management and controls, which is, I believe, is probably the most important thing when it comes to trading and investing. Any type of trading, there's no book that you're going to read. There's no webinar setup that's not going to tell you that you need to have risk management. Doesn't matter how you trade, penny stock, large flow stocks, swing trades. If you don't have risk management, you're not going to last very long in this business. So looking forward to that from somebody that does that for a career in his inputs. So looking forward to our success webinar tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So take care, guys. Trade safe, and we will see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. So starting with the Engineering the Markets with Jared. So that's the new name we put on there. I do like that name. And if you don't know, Jared is already a software engineer, so it fits his personality. And hopefully you guys are enjoying that every morning at 8 a.m. Here on YouTube and in our chat room. Take care, guys. Trade safe. We'll see you tomorrow.